Homer led the league in tackles with 85. The deep ball for Darius Prince, and Philadelphia's on the board first.
On the draw, this is Bryson Allen. And Allen weaving his way all the way down to the 22.
10-yard line, 5. Mayfield, Dancy, all around. Throw it as far as he can throw it. Jump ball coming. Crazy stuff. Not this time.
And you want to be a wide receiver, you're going to have to take a little bit of a hit like that as Brown got him in that shoulder, but watch. Those are teeth.
Do we have a dentist on staff here?
What's up, Shady Sports Network? I'm back here with a very exciting interview. Owner of the Columbus Lions, Mr. Kacee Smith. Kacee, how are we doing tonight, man?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Really excited to finally get you on the show. I know we've been talking a lot on Facebook, but I'm excited to hear your thoughts about everything going on in the arena world. Obviously, right off the bat, there's a new 3-letter league that kind of had popped up. A lot of people, it's a big topic of discussion. When you look at the sport, from a bird's eye view, how confident are you that we're moving in the right direction?
Well, it's a tough sport as it is. I mean, so it's one of those, like anyone involved in the sport, whether it's indoor football, arena football, it doesn't matter what 3-letter or XYZIL it is, you better hope that it works, because it gets at the AFL gets a national recognition and following, and so it carries weight to all the other leagues, and then it's been a big shakeup lately with leagues and the movement around, and I always get asked, I'm like, why don't all these leagues come together and join one big league? And it's like, well, that's the $1 million question. And I just always jokingly say, well, it has to do with rules and egos and money. That's right. And that's the reason why it probably will never happen. But like you, I can tell you're a huge fan of the sport, and that's awesome. And I am too. And so you always hope that everything is successful, especially everything that's getting a lot of recognition and attention, because it can have a ripple effect to other leagues and smaller leagues. And so, fingers crossed for that.
And that's what a lot of people kind of misconstrued, is the reason why the Columbus Lions moved to another league from the NAL is because the NAL was so expensive, right, at that time. And when I think of looking at these other teams and everyone coming together, that's, like you said, that would be part of the problem with the money. You being a part of that move from the NAL, what was the big reason why you guys made that shift?
Yeah, I mean, so with the NAL, like I'm a fan of the NAL. The real, I guess, the real main reason, the peek behind the curtain, so to speak, is it's no hidden secret that last year we were going to go into the NAL. We had a partner leave, a partner come on. We had a group that came on that then later backed out. We were kind of we selectively paused for a little while that transition was happening. And so we felt like we were kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit as far as like revenue, selling and things like that. And us in Columbus, just no hidden secret. It's a big market. A lot of people don't know how big it is. We're actually the second largest city in the state of Georgia, which was shocking to me. I didn't know that before I bought into the team. But compared to some of the teams in the markets in the NAL, it's a smaller market. So we lose, pretty big sometimes in Columbus. So it was just one of those things we just kind of like wanted to punt, so to speak, regroup and gather. But now, looking at the NAL, if they've made some changes and went more out west, and you got different people in control of it and everything, I really think the NAL was kind of on verge of being in trouble. But I think that they've figured it out and brought some teams on. So I'm hoping, like I said, with any other league, I hope it works because it really all affects all of us. It really, truly does.
When you went to the AIFA, excuse me, you guys remained competitive. Obviously, you dominated all the teams in there, but you also kept your key players. You signed Alex Coleman, Desmond Reese, Gerald Green. You managed to keep those guys around. How did you accomplish that?
I think they just kind of bought it. We're kind of, I mean, it's business first in Columbus. Always has been, always will be, but it's very family oriented. I mean, we're pretty tight. We got a pretty tight group of core people. And then I think they also knew kind of what was happening. They saw what we were doing kind of behind the scenes to play because the easiest thing that would have happened to most teams would have went dark for a year. I did not want to do that. Most teams that go dark don't come back, right? So we kind of just did what we had to do to make that work. They knew it, they got it, and we have a very loyal fan base, and we're going into our 18th season. And so the fans love the players know the fans, and it was just one of those things. Let's just have some fun this year. Let's have this season. And then come back stronger the next year. That's what we did. And it was interesting. I knew it was going to be interesting, but it turned out okay though.
That was kind of my follow-up question. What were some of the struggles playing the AIFA?
Well, you're definitely playing much smaller teams with much lower budget. So it was one of those things when you're into NAL, you don't have to worry, or, in the years past, the Columbus Lions has been in the SIFL, the PIFL, the AIFL, the AIF, and the NAL. You don't have to really worry about teams and are they going to be there? Are they going to show up? In the AIFA, there was just week by week. Luckily, everything always kind of worked out and everything. But I liked it because it was kind of a way for me to kind of talk to some of the teams that were dabbling in wanting to be a team owner or wanting to build their team up to join a league, and kind of showing them what we do, what goes into it, the money that goes into it, and kind of helping them and answer questions. Some of those teams, I think I've kind of lost touch with them afterwards, but I think some of them are still after it, and I think some kind of went away. So, but it was different, but it was fun though. We made the most of it.
Moving to the AIF, you can provide more of a competitive product for your fans to see it. How important was that for you?
That's very important. I'm competitive and I like to win, but I don't want to win, 50 and 60 points a game. And it's fun sometimes, occasionally throughout the season, but you don't want that to be week in, week out. So the AIF, I think, is going to be a lot more competitive league. Still, there's some new teams that I don't know much about. And so I've been around this long enough. You can kind of watch things and you can kind of start telling, and you can start sorting out who your front runners may be, but there could be a hidden one there. But I expect Amarillo and Harrisburg to be pretty stout. So looking forward to that, and two other teams that are coming back too. That's pretty cool.
Not for you to speak on any other organizations we have, but I do want to ask you, the Mississippi Raiders have kind of come over from the AIFA. They were one of the weaker teams in the AIFA in terms of funding. When you look at them, how confident are you that they'll play a full season this year?
And it's not just Mississippi, any team that's coming to the league. Like, I'm the one, literally just probably 2 days ago, I was on our group messenger checking in with everybody. Is everybody good? Like, we got benchmarks we need to be hitting. Do you have this, where you at on money? I'm always lending my services of just, I'll brainstorm with you, call me, let me help you come up with some marketing strategies, some sales strategies. They say and feel that they're good. So I have to just take their word at it that they feel pretty confident where they're at. They think the move helped them. They moved to a different market, a different city. And from what I've heard through the league, they've really opened their arms up to them there as a community and as a local government, really kind of just brought them right in with open arms. So that's a big thing too. Sometimes you can want it, but if your arena and your local government don't want it, it's hard. So them having that on their side, it seems like they get everything lined up for them. So they should be good to go, hopefully.
That makes sense. And I know COVID kind of, hurt everyone attendance-wise.
Oh, yeah.
with you guys too. But I know last year in the championship game, you guys had, I believe, over 4,000 fans attend that game. Where are you at marketing wise and attendance wise for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I think that game we were at maybe it was 4,500, 4,800. It was one of the best attended games in the history of the Columbus Lions. I think maybe like first or second most. So that was pretty cool. We're okay. I mean, we're never where I want to be. So, but I mean, I think we're typically on a typical night, I think you can expect to see 2,500. Some bigger, more rival games. We'll get into the 3,000s, and then I expect to be back in the 4,000s and playoffs and championships. Kind of know the market pretty good and our fans and stuff. That's what I expect. But we're never kind of quite where we want to be. We have no lack of ideas. We have lack of hands, feet, and implementation. So we're always coming up with ideas. We got all the ideas. It's just getting it done, and finding good help. That's another thing. It seems like since like you mentioned COVID, so since COVID came along, just finding people that that enjoy. And this is really a different type of job and a different type of business. So you almost really have to be a fan too, and so you really got to enjoy it too. So that's something we're looking forward to add some more people on like that too.
I was on your website earlier. I saw you have a GM, obviously, Lee Snow. He's been around for a while. And your co-owner, who I know very well, Richard Massilia. How has your relationship with him and Lee kind of evolved over the years?
We're close. I don't know if I don't know if they like as close as we are or not, but we're we're constantly communicating. I mean, we got a text thread that just today I was firing things off to Lee and some other people in our group, like where are we at with this, and this, and this, so we work well together. And Richard, like he's been awesome. I enjoy working with him. Richard's just a stand-up guy. Fantastic partner to have, and that's one thing too that really makes a difference in this is your partnerships that you have in your team, because there's times it gets hard, and it's just like you kind of got to like be there for each other. And if you're in a partnership, and I hear horror stories of some teams where they're having like a little rift in their partnership, I can only imagine that would be a nightmare. I just couldn't imagine going through that. So I'm glad that we don't face that.
Last year with the Columbus Lions, you had a ton of local flavor. Guys who lived in the community. This year, I noticed you guys are kind of expanding outside, getting guys from all over the country. How's your housing situation looking like?
So we kind of assess it to whereas we house kind of what's needed. So we'll start with like we have so much local talent. It's crazy. Like I've been around this for a while. You see like there's some markets where you almost have to house every single player because you can't rely on local talent. But us being in that South Georgia, Atlanta area and Auburn, I mean, there's just so many, so we're actually looking at like, how much housing do we need? So in the off season, we kind of budget an idea, and then we trim down for where holes are at on our roster at camp. So we kind of assess the team. It's like, all right, we're going to need a stud D lineman, a stud O lineman, and a DB. All right, so then we'll house that. Ideally, we like to try to be, and when we say local, like we mean from Columbus to Atlanta kind of area. We like to try to be as local based as possible because we just like to market that to the fans and to the sponsors. This is local talent. But sometimes you got to bring some outside players in to fill holes. So.
One position that I noticed you guys have a lot of outside talent is the quarterback position. You signed Joe Newman, former Bay Area quarterback, Tommy Neely, David Daniels, guys who have been with the franchise before. How do you envision that quarterback battle going through camp?
It's going to be a battle. That's definitely what it's going to be. So Joe, I've kind of got more familiar with him when we were talking to him and signing him and watching some of his video. At the beginning too, the AIF rules were a little not vague. It was really more left open for like the owners meeting for everybody to kind of to decide how they wanted to do it. So we wasn't really sure if we were playing more arena style or more indoor style, which definitely plays a role with more pocket passer, more mobile quarterback, that kind of thing. So we kind of got a style of everyone. And then, Tommy's becoming a little bit of a household name. He's been around a little bit. And so funny thing about Tommy, like apparently he was a 4.0 student in college and like I think maybe graduated one in his class or something crazy like that. So he's super smart, picks things up. So yeah, it's gonna be a battle for sure.
And I think that's great that you keep, guys around, like continuity in your roster, get the fans familiar. One thing I want to ask you is the sponsorship. Like we talked about earlier with some new leagues coming in, them having to grab big time sponsors. How hard is it being a smaller market team to attract big brands to sponsor you guys?
It's very challenging, and I'll tell you, this goes back to just 2010, 2015, 2020. Um, when you looked at the Premier League, the AFL, when it folded the first time, I think most owners would tell you there was a ripple effect with large corporates. It's like a little hesitant of it. Is my money safe to invest in that? And then you look at that a second time, then it was leaving work. And now you just have had so many people, and as long as people's intentions are good, then so be it. But a lot of people just try to start teams or start these league and they just fold and it hurts, and it's like you can't fault them for trying, but it really hurts. So then businesses hold on to that money a little bit tighter and a little bit it's just harder to get. But luckily in Columbus, we do have that history to show. We got a strong ownership group. We're dedicated. We're here. So that helps us a lot. But for some teams that are just starting off and some new leagues, like they're gonna have to buckle up. It's tight. It's rough.
Another thing teams have to buckle up with, and I've heard horror stories about this myself, is championship rings. You guys won the championship. Where have you been able to get at with the championship ring manufacturing process?
Oh, so we're going to use actually a buddy of mine. His name's John. He has Scorewares, his company. So I'll have to invoice him for this plug real quick of promoting Scoreware. But he does a lot of championship rings, and he's got our I think our design's complete. He's got our design done, and we're going through him, and actually going through him for our jerseys too. So we were just walking all that stuff up today, actually getting our sponsorship logos in for our jerseys, and so I've worked with John for probably 15 years, so that's who we're using. But you're right. I don't think a lot of companies dabble in the championship ring. So I'm not really sure who a lot of teams use. But yeah, we'll be using Scoreware though.
Speaking of jerseys, are you guys planning any alternate theme jerseys for the season?
Yeah, so we got a home and away, obviously, but then we're gonna have like a blackout night for military night. So there'll be a black military jersey and then a Special Olympics night, which would be a little bit of I'm sorry, our away jersey is going to be gray. Our Special Olympics jersey will be white. So we'll have four different jersey combos this year.
That's amazing. I think that's great when teams have different jerseys, different perspectives and different flavors. When I look at, you guys on a marketing perspective, you guys are almost trying to stay relevant. You've been around for so long. When you capture the local flavor and the local talent you have in your roster, have you been able to get out in the community more than before?
Yeah, but I think we do. But I think that's something we can improve on. And really, it's something that we kind of really try to find someone to really come into the organization and let that be their baby. As events like take the mascot, take some players to events right now. So our GM, he did a really good job, especially in the fall. There's a lot of fall activities, like your festivals and stuff. That's the easy time to get out. And then we go to schools and things like that. But I don't think you can ever do enough of that. Like and this is no knock of anything of our team or anyone on our team and organization because we're all trying, we're all doing. But I just think that's something everybody could put a better focus on. And people love it. It just never fails. I mean, like I don't know how many markets out there. I think there might be maybe the Beef and maybe the Blizzard. I'm just trying to think of who's been around longer than the Lions. There's not many, and it's still shocking that even when you get out to events in Columbus, people still have not heard of the Columbus Lions. And that just goes to show you how hard it is to get out and be seen. So we do have that going for us, but it's still a challenge though.
It's definitely, hard for any pro sports team to kind of keep the interest going, especially in the off season. Have you thought about doing ticket giveaways or any promotional giveaways?
Yeah, we do. What we like to do with ticket giveaways is like special groups, like Special Olympics, that kind of thing, or like any youth based or something like that. So we do that. That's kind of my my soft spot, I guess, is kids and at-risk kids and special needs kids and special like that kind of thing. So we definitely do a lot through that. But we're always trying to find a way to get, especially get groups more involved. And in this year, I think we're bringing back our faith and family night. That's one, and then medical providers and teachers and things like that.
Without a doubt. It's been great having you on the show. I kind of want to close the show out by asking you look towards 2024. AIF has come out of nowhere, but they've been explosive in terms of marketing. Corpus Christi, Amarillo, Cedar Rapids, they're doing a great job. You guys included in that conversation. When you look at the league, where do you guys want to be at going into 2025?
So finishing this league off for me, I guess personally with the league is I would just like to see solid quality play across the board, and everybody making it to the end of the season. And it's sad that you kind of have to say and you wish that, but that's just the nature of the beast. But I feel comfortable about it. But I would like to see us close the season with all teams that we currently have and building on that into the next year. I think that would be a positive thing. But coming back with a new league, and then you got but like you said, a few teams that you've mentioned that are new appear to be doing the right things. I think they're going to be okay. So that makes it me feel pretty confident about it.
Without a doubt. Again, I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing what the Lions have in store in 2020.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.